Welcome to Politicking as Usual. It's your boy Mars, aka Marlon Beardo, the Bearded Weirdo, aka the Stella Rosa and Casanova, and a bunch of other superlatives. And I'm here with the rest of the Politicking as Usual crew. You see that man right over there to my left? It's the one, the only, the singing cuisine king, the man, the master, the pharaoh of Christian Mingle, the one and only Big Gerald. How you doing today, brother?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Yes, sir. He's got the best hat I've ever seen on the planet. Shout out to the Lakers. And
Give yourself Curry nightmares.
the Nightmare Hunters. And to his right, looking like a character from the Boondocks. I'm not quite sure who yet.
Booty Warrior.
Oh, God. I like shit. And that is a Felice Johnson hat. Jesus Christ. You know him from Off Punishment, Down in the Den After Dark, the one and only, the shortest giant you'll ever meet, the short man. How you doing today, brother?
Oh man, just feeling blessed today, brothers. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. And I hope you're having a good morning. We were off on hiatus, as you can see on the background. We were someplace tropical, someplace warm, someplace gorgeous, and we really wish we were right there right now. But we're back every morning, every Monday morning, that is, to give you the best talk you can get in the morning. So we're here. We got our mugs, we got our Joe. We have a special guest from the Are You Mad podcast. She is a fantastic mental health advocate, a damn good interviewer, and an entertaining young lady. She'll be here. Nikki Nu from Are You Mad will be here a little bit later to discuss mental health, because it is May. It's Mental Health Month. And it's very important, especially from the male's perspective, to talk about mental health. So we're going to have a little mental health conversation with you this morning. But before we get into that, it's sports talk, brother. Sports talk, sports talk, sports talk. My man, Big Girl, came prepared. I should have had the Lakers haircut, but I got the fresh cut, so I'm not trying to mess up the fresh cut. But it's sports time. It's sports time. Last episode, we were all together. We kind of predicted the first round. Some of our predictions came true. Some of us made some mistakes on our predictions. But we're here in the second round. And who do we have these series? Let's start with the East Coast. We have Miami and New York currently. I believe Miami is up 2-1, or is New York up 2-1?
Miami's up 2-1.
2-1. We also have Philadelphia and Boston. Boston's taking a 2-1 lead in that series. And, definitely didn't expect Miami to be going this far, but, the buck stopped there, I guess. And then, on the West Coast of the semifinal, we have Denver and Phoenix. I think Denver has a 2-1 series lead in that one. And then we also have my Los Angeles Lakers, Big Gerald Los Angeles Lakers, versus the short man's lowly into the dynasty Golden State Warriors. So this is the final four in each conference. We've got the scores, and so let's go over it. Let's start with the East Coast. Who do you think is coming out of Boston and Philadelphia? Let's start with you, Big Gerald.
So, Joel Embiid is the engine for Philly, but they'll only go as far as the driver, which is James Harden. I don't foresee them having enough to get past Boston. I see Boston winning in 7. I believe it'll go 7 games, but I'll see Boston winning in 7.
Okay. How about you, short man? Let's hope the sports talk. Before we begin, Dr. J no longer plays for the Sixers. Larry Bird has retired. So we had some feedback about the short man sports talk. I promise you, it's a little bit better this. So please, what's your prediction for that series?
So I really do think it's going to go 7 for Boston. But I've been looking at the way how James Harden has been playing. He has not been playoff James lately. He's really been playing with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of excitement lately. But because Boston, they have a group that is a solid core and they know how to move the ball and they all know their role, I really don't think that Philadelphia can handle them. And Embiid is sometime plus he's injured. and they're going to fall sooner or later. And
He
that they
called the
only have.
MVP sometime.
I believe he's sometime. You know what I'm saying? Because of his injuries. You know what I'm saying? He does get injured a lot. You know what I mean? And then he's had a great year, but this injury during the playoff, this is going to hinder him. And then James cannot do everything by himself. He's seen that time and time again. And every year when he's played in the playoffs with being in Houston, when Brooklyn, like he's not he's lost a step. Not saying that he's not a talented player, but he's lost a step, and I don't think they are going to be able to match well with the rest of the series with Boston. Tatum is a beast, and so is Brown, and Marcus Smart plays his role, and you even have somebody like a veteran like Al Horford who can kind of get under and get in the paint and get certain rebounds and put back shots and everything that he needs. So it's 7 for Boston.
We can't forget the X factor from UVA, my guy Malcolm Brogdon, 6th man of the year. I think he brings something. He can be a starter on any team in the NBA. So to have him, that was, I think, another facilitator was their problem last year. Marcus Smart, great defender, but is he a traditional point guard? I don't think so by any means. So I think having Malcolm Brogdon in there in that 6-man role is going to be huge. I don't foresee Philly winning another game, to be completely honest. I agree with Short Man. Embiid's definitely a little hindered from his injury, and it seems like Harden this time of year, he starts thinking 1, 2, 3 Cancun as soon as the playoffs begin. So, although he was the sole reason they won the first game, I think he emptied his tank on that first game, and I don't foresee them doing anything else.
I give him some credit because of Maxey. Maxey is youthful. He can go get his own shot. And then I forget the other brother's name, but when he's shooting for them, he's pretty good. And PJ Tucker's gonna give you great defense. I can see him.
Tobias Harris?
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Him. But like you said, you brought up Brogdon, which is a good pick. But the guy that used to play for the Lord, what's Pop's team? The Spurs. I forget his name. White. I think his last name is White or something like that.
Oh, Derek White with the hairline.
Mm-hmm. he gives good energy off the bench for Boston. Him and Brogdon, they can come in. They get their own shot. Play defense, and Williams is healthy.
Yeah,
Robert Williams is a problem. You can leave him and Embiid together, and he'll make it hard for him. I think at this time, Al Horford, old man Al, he want to shoot threes and make a difference there elsewhere. So
he's gonna do that spot up in that corner in the dunker spot. And if they come over, swing it out, and he gonna knock down about 35-38% of threes, and that's good enough for them. But yeah, I don't see Philly winning another game. I just think Boston's too young, too strong, too hungry, too well coached, too organized, and too legit to quit. Hey. All right, so the other game on the East Coast, we got the New York Knickerbockers, which I know for these New York fans, this is a new place. Some of y'all in the last generation have never seen the playoffs. It's a wonderful place, I understand. And of course, who are they playing against again?
Miami Heat.
Miami Heat. Jimmy's had some injuries. Miami overall is banged up. Tyler Hero gone. Kyle Lowry, he's playing, but he's still half a step. He's not Toronto Kyle. So this is an interesting series because I think if healthy, I think Miami would run the gamut on them, but they're not healthy. So who do you guys coming out of the series? Right now it's 2-1 Miami. Who do you got coming out of this one?
Miami. I say Miami in 6. I'll give the Knicks one more game. I think the point guard that they got from the Mavericks, I'm trying to remember his name, Brunson.
Brunson,
Brunson.
Brunson and Julius Randle gives them enough, and then when Obi Toppin show up for work, they can sneak out and get another game. But Jimmy Butler has shown that he's gonna be Jimmy. He's gonna go get his, and like you said, Kyle Lowry, he's missing in action. But Bam Adebayo is the X factor. If Bam gets you 20 and 20, you won't win another game. I believe the Knicks can pull off just one more, just with Brunson and Randall. Just they're hard nosed. they're built to play for the Knicks, which is one good thing. But I see Miami in 6.
Yeah, I kind of agree, and I feel like Miami would have if Jimmy was healthier. What's the one boy that broke his hand? Hero.
Alahira.
Mm-hmm.
If he was healthy, they would have. It would have been a sweep, I believe. And even with Oladipo being hurt, even though he's injury prone, I believe when he's healthy and he's a GOAT, he plays hard and he'll get you at least 15 to 20 a night.
He ain't coming back though.
Yeah,
And that man's been robbed of almost all of his
really
athleticism. Yeah, like he's had some catastrophic. If this was the '80s, he'd have been had to retire. Thank you to medical magic of today, he's been able to come back from all the injuries he's had. But he's had like 3 or 4 career-ending injuries back to back. So
and then, but I give New York their props, their just due because they're a hard team. With Jalen Brunson coming over from Dallas and Julius Randle really playing, they're going to be a playoff contender in the next couple of years, but they're missing some key factors, some pieces that they're going to have to do some trades and bring in some type of role players to even get them over a hump. But I said Miami at 6.
do you guys think it's time to end the RJ Barrett experiment, or would you hold on?
It's been overdue. He should have been going last year.
So the thing with RJ Barrett, and I think is playing with Zion Williamson makes you look a lot better than what you are. And when he went to Duke at the perfect time, you had Zion. Everybody's gonna key on Zion, so I'm gonna go get mine because why not? Even when Zion was hurt, it was just the looming fact that Zion was there made a difference for him at Duke. I think that he can be an incredible talent. I believe that he just needs to be around the right coach and not have a lot of weight on his shoulders. You move RJ Barrett to a Phoenix Suns team right now. He's a 15-point a game person coming off the bench, 7th or 8th choice. He'll go get you 15.
Yeah, I think
it's too much for him now.
A lot of people compared him to T-Mac and thought he would be. It's just because they have similar builds, but I think it stops there.
That's highly disrespectful slander. You do not compare him to no T-Mac at all. Whoever said that, disrespectful. You take that back.
So let's look at what T-Mac's role was. T-Mac in high school was the man because he's from Florida.
Right.
So I knew a T-Mac coming out. He was the man, but he was blessed to go to Toronto where the weight of the world wasn't on his shoulders, on his cousin's shoulders. So by the time he got to Orlando, I'm ready to play ball now.
Yeah.
I think for RJ Barrett, being a professional as long as he was, because he was a teenage professional in Canada. He didn't have the road that T-Mac had, and he's not as polished.
Not at all.
No, he just doesn't have the athleticism nor the skill set at this time. Like people really sleep on T-Mac youngsters because his prime was very short due to injuries. But when he was at his prime, him and Kobe were arguably 1A in the league.
Those were some battles.
So now over on the West Coast, we have Phoenix and Denver, and I mean, Booker's been doing his thing as far as scoring. KD's been, I think he's had maybe one bad game, but for the most part, but Denver's just looking like a different animal right now. They have no one. DeAndre Ayton, I'm going to start calling him big for nothing.
Yeah.
He is literally built like prime David Robinson and plays like Duncan Robinson. Like I'm so or Craig Robinson from the Oz.
Shit.
Like
There we go again.
I'm so disappointed by this guy. I mean, he looks like he just doesn't want to be there.
So before I give a prediction for that series, I will say this. When it comes to Phoenix, getting KD was a blessing, but you gave up your bench. And now it's coming to, effect now. Yeah, if Chris Paul was healthy, we're having a different conversation about this Phoenix team. But Denver is a beast. Jamal Murray has come out and played his game. This is standard Jamal Murray. A lot of people don't realize it because he kept getting hurt.
Right.
what will take Denver over the edge as the overall favorite to win it all if Michael Porter Jr. can get it together.
Mm.
Man, we're talking about same size as KD, got the same shot. I think just the back injuries coming into the league and all those nagging injuries have robbed him of something to give to the league. But they are a scary basketball team. The Joker he's on a different realm. Embiid won the MVP, but Joker gave him a run for his money.
Yeah, man.
I honestly think they could have gave it to the Joker, and I wouldn't have been mad. But I think because Embiid is openly campaigning, because when you're saying 3 MVPs in a row, now you're putting Joker in rare air. And I don't think they really want to have that conversation. But statistically, the numbers say we need to be having that conversation. Like the other day, I think he dropped something like 17 rebounds and 17 assists. Like, this is routine. This guy's a freak. He's like Larry Dirt Bird in the wind.
Larry Dirt Bird.
Like, he's everything rolled into one.
And think about it. He's blessed to be in Denver.
Mm.
You know, it's not a big market. And he can run the team the way he wants. You think about Denver, you don't think about the Nuggets as, finals contenders every year. It's a perfect market. They got a perfect team. And hopefully we'll talk about what's happening in Milwaukee after we do our predictions. But, I mean, this is the perfect market for him. Could he be the same player if he played for the Lakers? Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
If we could trade AD for him straight up, baby, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't bet eyelashes. Let's go get it.
In a heartbeat, I'd pack AD's drawers for him. So they're folding them. You like to fold a catacorn or horizontal? What's your preference?
So you believe that the Joker is better than AD?
He may be the best big man in the league, hands down, right now.
Now his moves, I saw him play the other night, and he's kind of a big built dude. Like, he doesn't really have that athletic build, but I seen him like just maneuver and glide through to get shots. I was like, yo, this is a bad motherfucker right here.
You know why though? Remember when the Joker first came in the league, he was big. He was bigger than what he is now.
He's lost probably 50, 60 pounds. He looked like 4x4, like 400 pounds, 4 feet wide.
Right. It's just but his vision.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of times that you get big men to come in the league and they get rebounds, they block the rim, they do all of that. Man, he sees the floor like he's the point guard.
Yeah.
You know what he reminds you of? A prime Bill Walton.
Okay, yeah. Championship pre-injury Bill Walton. Joker is the type of player that would be dangerous if he was a foot shorter. Even without the athleticism, he sees the court so well and plays chess. Like, he doesn't have to be fast because everyone's already moving in slow motion because he's three moves ahead. So it doesn't matter if he's slow because he's already, okay, I see this. And he's phenomenal. And that's the only team I truly fear in the West is them. Anyone else, I was actually rooting for Phoenix to win because I knew that Chris Paul injury was coming. I was just hoping it was the Western Conference Finals, but I knew it was coming. So I think as deep as the Lakers are, we would have gave Phoenix that business.
I see. So Denver in 6. I don't see Phoenix winning another game because as good as Drew just said that Booker has been playing, there has to be a ledge.
Yeah.
So think about it. You're not going to double Booker because of KD. So he's going to give you 40. But eventually, playing the same team over and over and going to Denver with the atmospheric change, you're going to fall off a ledge, whether you want to or not.
You think he's going to burn out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time. We're talking about someone who's averaging 35 a series.
Yeah. You remember when Jimmy Butler in the bubble had the whole team on his lead and he was doing everything he could, but at some point the body's like, bruh, you've been driving in the red line too long and you're just it's a war of attrition at that point.
Do you all think that Chris Paul will come back anytime soon? Or you think he's done for the rest of the season?
I think he's done for the season. I think he might be done at this point. I mean, this was his best opportunity to get it done. It's clear his body can't handle the rigors. He's whatever LeBron's on, he's not on LeBron. He's been getting by with just his sheer skill and will, but the body can't hold up to the rigors. Once it starts getting warm, it seems like he's getting a soft tissue injury.
If Phoenix is smart, and I know this is going to be unpopular, if Phoenix is smart, even if Chris Paul don't retire, you move on.
Yeah,
I talked to see how to get one of my old point guards back, because the guy they sent to Brooklyn, I forget the young man name, the point guard now. I'll go get him back. He's the future. I mean, yeah, you go get KD because you got Chris Paul, but this was the last hurrah. I don't see Chris Paul another season. He's not built like LeBron, like you said. He don't work out. He don't take care of his body like that. I mean, he does a great job. I mean, look at his age. He's done a great job staying in the league. But at this point,
but Chris is only what, 35, 36?
He's 39. He's 39.
So he's in my age bracket. Yeah, so I believe he can really do maybe one more season. I don't believe he can go any longer after one more season.
Well, I mean, I don't think he can hold the team. He can be off the bench. Your backup. I think he could play another 2 or 3 years as a backup, giving you 20 minutes a game. Oh, absolutely. He'll give you, 8 and 8, 8 points, 8 assists, couple rebounds, and leadership. If he wants to humble himself and do that, he can play another 2 or 3 years. But the rigors of being a starting point guard, playing 35 minutes a game, I don't think he can do it anymore physically.
It's Payne's team next year. Cameron Payne, that's the young man's name.
But he's got to step it up. He hasn't really done well in this series.
You stand in the shadows of giants. And you think about Monty Williams is an amazing human being. Monty Williams is amazing. But when it comes to the coaching, I mean, there has been zero changes from their first series to this Denver series. I mean, you look at the numbers Chris Paul and Booker are putting up, but look at the minutes that they're playing, and that's another reason for the decline. Like, you're not preparing no one else to come in and at least get me 10 points. Yeah. If we got a lead, keep the lead, or make it to where we come back so they can come in and do their thing. He's not made none of those adjustments.
Yeah, and he keeps letting Ayton play Jokic one-on-one, and it's not even fair. I'm like watching the games, and I'm like, he's already dead. Please stop beating this man, Ayton. Ayton's just like, he physically can't do anything. KD doesn't have enough bricks in his backside to do anything with Jokic, and he's just having this field net. Now, I don't think he will be able to do that with Davis, because every time they've gone head-to-head, Davis has given them that business. But yeah, Denver scares me because there's legitimately 5 players on that team that can give you 20 points.
And Jamal Murray, he is one. Oh man, I done made 3 threes in a row. I'm going to get 45 tonight. Yeah, that's just how he's built.
He's like modern day microwave Vinnie Johnson. And then the final series, the most important series, the one that everybody came to see, the Los Angeles Lakers, my team, the best franchise in all the sports, versus those lowly.
Y'all gonna stop disrespecting my team. We got chips.
I want let him go first, and then I'm gonna say what I need to say.
Yes, man. The end of the franchise, the nut kickers themselves, Draymond Green and his Splash Brothers, the light skinned bandits, Golden State Warriors. What say you? We're currently 2-1. We've seen really no close games. Each game at some point was a blowout. So I don't know.
The first game was pretty close.
The final score was close, but at one point we were just beating you guys by like 20.
LeBron and AD didn't play none of the fourth quarter in the first game.
Yeah, so like the score doesn't really tell you how dominant. And then with the second game, clearly you guys shot 50% behind 3, and while they can do that, I wouldn't count on them consistently having 50% from beyond the arc as a team too many times. So it's really make or miss with Golden State. Who do you have coming out with this currently 2-1 with another game in Los Angeles tomorrow?
So it'll be 7. It's going to be a 7-game series. It's going to come to the finals. And just because I'm a Warriors fan, I'm saying we're going to beat y'all. Curry is.
So not based off of facts or anything, just
that's
because.
facts. Steph Curry has been shooting lights out every game.
He was 4-10 the last game.
I was like, has he? Because he was.
Yes, shooting lights out. Clay has been off, very, very off. He's shot some really suspect shots that I know he shouldn't have shot.
The second game.
You said what?
Clay won them the game. He made
the second game, yes, but I'm talking about the first game and then the third game. It has been very, very suspect with his shooting. Y'all know, and I've seen it. And Jordan Poole, sit your ass on the bench. I am tired of the shit that you are pulling. But I believe we will go into 7. 1 for ratings, because the NBA wants this matchup, and we will pull it off. We're going to 7 games, and the Warriors will win in 7.
Okay. Is my turn?
Yes, it is.
So, against the Kings, the Warriors won a home game against Sacramento. Why was that? Because of Sacramento's youth. They were energetic, but when it came down to it, they didn't make the proper adjustments or win the game. So the same thing we said for the Warriors, we can say for the Lakers. They're championship bred. They got a steady team. Darvin Ham can put 8 people in. I believe because of experience and the fact that the Warriors play horribly away in away games, I believe that the Lakers will pull this next game off, and then the Warriors will win their next home game, and then the Lakers will end it in LA. So I got the Lakers at 6, and here's why. Yes, Steph Curry is playing amazing. He put it all on the line against Sacramento, and he's played great in this first series, except for this last game where he was 4-10 from the three-point line. Eventually, just like in any series, when you press the gas because no one will come with you, you will burn out. The Warriors are missing a big. Kuminga is playing great, but Wiggins has not shown up. They cannot guard AD. Draymond Green proved that he had 5 fouls last night, and then AD had his way because what can you do? And he has verbally stated that he will not change his defense. Well, you can keep going against the refs all you want, but as we've learned in the NBA over the past 5 years, the referees will let you know that they run this. They will not swallow their whistle anymore. You cannot show them the antics. And the only reason you beat Sacramento, once that boy fractured his finger, he was not the same person. We're talking about AD and LeBron being AD and LeBron. AD is going to give you a game off. He's going to give you a game off. LeBron is 38 years old and he does what he can. But here's where I think the difference has become. D'Angelo Russell is finding his niche with this team. As he finds his niche, it will open up the doors, not for LeBron, not for AD, but for AR-15. Austin Reeves will prove that Jordan Poole and Klay Thompson, who is an extremely good shooter, but has changed on defense, will not be able to guard him. As long as the series goes, his confidence will build. With them two coming along the way, and you start putting in Mo Bamba just for size, because he's not going to do anything offensively, they got nobody to stop the bigs on LA. Kuminga is a great player.
But he's not getting enough time either, though.
Because he not only was he sick, but you're talking about AD, so when he don't take a game off.
No, Kuminga or the other boy. He has the dress. Kuminga has the braids. You talking about
I'm talking about the big man.
Moody?
No.
Oh, no.
I'm talking about the big man for the Warriors.
Yeah, Jonathan Kuminga.
No, Kuminga, no, he's not the starter. Kuminga comes off the bench. He only plays late in games. I can't think of the boy's name, but he's got the dress.
The guy that's been sick that hasn't been able to.
That's not.
They got all those rebounds. He was getting like 23 rebounds a game. I forgot his name already. He's too slow-footed anyway to guard AD.
But he's gonna get. But bringing in Kuminga means okay. I'm here to play defense.
Right.
But the problem is if Draymond can't stop him, Kuminga, like you said, Kuminga can't stop him.
Kuminga.
So who is it?
I forgot his. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Because who's the other big man for Golden State?
I know who Drew talking about because he had huge games against Sacramento. The first game he played and got 23 rebounds. The same game that AD got 23 rebounds, but he's been sick since then. You got it?
Kevon Looney.
Looney, there it is.
Kevon Looney.
Looney. So thank you, Kevon Looney. I apologize about that, but that's who I'm talking about. Kevon Looney against any other big. Sacramento didn't have no bigs. You know, it's a bonus. He can only do what he can, but he can't stop AD.
No.
Looney is a man on an island alone. When Draymond get in foul trouble, Looney can only do it because the offensive rebound stop. When AD is locked in, there's not much you can do with him.
Yeah.
Wiggins has not come and given you what you expected from him. He has a lot on his plate. But like you said, if the only person that is getting their shot is Steph Curry, I like my chances.
Yeah, because there's just not enough points that they can score. Even if Steph drops 50, when everybody else is giving you 6, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be enough, and they really have to count that their shots are going in. And with their atrocious road record, the fact that they had to go 7 with Sacramento and they won one, well, I think they ended up winning 2 games at home. I mean, on the road. But, you know, they were just getting dominated for the most part on the road. So I agree. I think it's going to be just like Memphis. We're going to take these 2 in Los Angeles, followed by a loss in Golden State, and then we'll wrap it up in 6. And then I believe we'll be playing Denver, who will probably be waiting for us, and that'll be a very good series. That's my prediction.
I think so. So while we got it, I know we've been on sports for a long time, but it's just us 3. How do y'all feel about the firing of Budenholzer from Milwaukee? I believe that this was something that was coming after the owner sold the team, because he did. Their owner sold his team. I believe that because when you look at Milwaukee, they were the number 1 overall seed. They played great. They won an NBA championship. Presently constructed, if everybody was healthy, if Giannis was healthy, we're having a whole different conversation. Budenholzer is coaching in this series. But how do y'all feel about that? I feel like this is a knee-jerk reaction from the main office on down. And I think that they believe that in trying to sign the center, I forget his name. God forgive me. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
Middleton?
No, not Middleton. Even though he's on that list, who's the center?
Lopez.
Yes. Lopez and Middleton are up for contract negotiations this year. Both over 30. Both looking to get their money. They played excellent this year. But if you don't re-sign them, do you see them keeping Giannis?
I think Giannis is loyal, and I think he would stay. But I also believe Milwaukee is extremely cheap, and they've got what they want. They've got the audience. They've got their ring. I could see them trading him and building and starting to build over. Maybe whoever gets the number 1 pick. Okay, how about you get Giannis and we get Wembanyama or something like that, and they can start over with a lot of money under the cap. I could see them doing something like that because he's still a championship coach. There's no reason with Giannis being healthy or not being healthy, he should take the blame for that. Your best player is gone. You don't win. You know, Miami is not your traditional 8th seed. They never are. When playoff Jimmy is around, doesn't matter what seed they are, because that guy has shown time and time again that maybe since Kobe Bryant, no one has had a bigger single-handedly will and tenacity to win than Jimmy Butler in the playoffs. I can't think of any other player with that. So without a 100% Giannis, no, it's not a shot that they lost. And I think, like you said, it's knee-jerk. They're expecting championship, but you can't win the championship every year. Period. Not one player has done that. So I think it was a knee-jerk reaction, and I think it's a sign that they may be ready to make a change in Milwaukee.
Yeah, with it's like you said, the owner's selling the team. They're just going to start maneuvering people around. Like they fired the coach. It's going to be a lot of players that are gone. They're going to do a whole rebuild. I guarantee you.
Absolutely,
I can see it. I believe Giannis will probably stick around maybe a year or 2, but they might trade him. You know, and didn't the coach before then, when they saw, didn't he do a contract extension when they won that championship?
Yeah, but coaches extensions don't mean nothing in the NBA.
But they still get paid.
Yeah, he still get paid, but you know, it doesn't mean any job security. It doesn't mean like oh, we're not going to fire you, you know.
Right.
Yeah. I'm just saying though, like this, he's still gonna he could be sitting at home playing Nintendo and still collecting a check
I
because
mean, he'll get another job. That's the one thing about the NBA. They recycle coaches. If he wants another job, he'll get another job. That's not a big thing. So there'll be a lowly team out there that wants his experience and give him a job. He'll be fine.
So think about it this way, and I think a lot of people forget it because everybody tried to discount the bubble, but hell, it was a whole pandemic. I mean, what could the NBA do? They still tried to give you basketball. This Miami team did the same thing to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
They built a wall. And it was a healthy honest, and they beat them because they built the wall. So for them to do it, like let that man go this year because of that, I don't understand the logic. I mean, Spoelstra's a wonderful coach.
they did that because they didn't get out of the first round. They let him go because of that. Because they had the best record in the league this year, and they could not get out of the first.
So now you get to hire a coach who probably haven't even sniffed the first round of the playoffs in how long? Because think about it, the best coach out there right now is Nick Nurse.
Yeah.
He ain't won nothing since Dwight was gone.
You got a good point. I'm a big fan of finding a leader that has the right culture and the right abilities and sticking with them and building your culture. I'm not a big fan of swapping coaches just because a team didn't win. Because as long as he's implementing the culture, you can't prevent injuries. You can't prevent effort from the players, unless you lose the team. And I hadn't heard any reports of him losing the team. So I'm sure he'll land on his feet, but I definitely feel Milwaukee that we should keep an eye on them because I think this summer we might see some interesting moves because I don't know if I re-sign Middleton with his injuries and his history and his advanced age, Brooke Lopez of his advanced age. I don't know if I keep that. Giannis is young enough that you can rebuild around him, but does he want to rebuild? At
with
this
those
point,
back problems, though, he had back problems, right? Now, once your back starts messing up, he's going to be out like a while. Like, you remember when Dwight started having those back problems? He wasn't the same player.
but those were structural where they had to get surgeries and things of this. And this is more soft tissue. He just needs some time to heal. He's expected to be 100% like soon if he's not already.
Yeah, is he not 25? Yeah, Giannis is only 25 years old.
Yeah, he's a young man. He's not even really hit his peak yet. He's probably got another 5 years in his prime at least, and then probably another 7 years where he's still a top 5 player, and probably another 10 years where he's still a top 10 player. So he's someone that I would definitely build around. There's no one like him in the NBA. So we'll see. We'll see with Milwaukee. But thank you guys so much for your contribution with Sports Short, man. You made me proud. You made sense. You ain't talking about no retired players, no injured players. I love it. I love what you did. But May is Mental Health Month, and coming to Politicking as Usual to join us to talk about mental health, she is the one. She is the only. Nikki Nu from the Are You Mad podcast. We're going to go ahead and bring her in. Are you there? Oh,
Hello.
Can you hear? She's on the TI-80X.
What does that mean?
My
quality is not at some par.
You got the AOL connection.
LOL.
Not LOL, AOL.
That's it.
With time.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Hello, we can hear you. But guys, welcome the wonderful Nikki Nu. Nikki, please tell the people, the Politicking as Usual fans, a little bit about yourself and your background and what you do.
Oh, well, hello. Thank you. My name is Nicole, a.k.a. Nikki Nu, short for Nicole Nu. And I am the creator in front of Are You Mad, the podcast for the people. So a little bit about what I do is I am a mental health advocate. I have my undergraduate studies in psychology, and I also have experience within the healthcare field and also the educational background. So life circumstances has brought me to where I am today, hence Are You Mad? It's a common expression used by my folks back home. I am a first generation immigrant from Ghana, so are you mad? is typically, "Are you crazy?" Right? Is usually what my aunties were asking me when they were judging some of the actions that I was doing as a young, ambitious young lady, learning more about the world. So, with me having the background in psychology, being in those classrooms, having the discussion, presenting mindfulness, but also putting it to the back burner while also juggling cultural injustices, being a Black American, being Black in America, it just has led me to where I am now to use my personal and professional experiences along with my witty personality to have those uncomfortable conversations about mental health and mindfulness. And it pretty much began with me becoming an orphan, an adult orphan, and just having to look around and say, damn, like it's nobody, not like outside of my physical parents, but there's nobody really here to guide me. So it was a matter of starting first with myself, healing, being mindful. So it all started with me. And what I did was I just plugged up a microphone and a camera and started to record my journey. So that is the Are You Mad podcast. And then it is branched out into services in which I advocate for the people and the public and connect them with mental health providers if need be, but also providing an educational platform. So it's a little bit of a lot. But the whole point is having that conversation, not being afraid to have that conversation, saying like, yo, today's a bad day. I need to tap out. Like, it's a lot going on. I'm probably having a panic attack. You know what I mean? Like, heart palpitations, paying attention to our bodies, why our bodies are physically reacting in the way in which they are. Most likely, their indicators are telling us that something is wrong. And I had to have that experience myself. So definitely be sure to tune into the podcast whenever you have a chance, and it's streaming on all podcast platforms, but you can follow along with my journey and how I came to where I am now.
Perfect. Well, guys, please make sure you check her out. The podcast is super dope. She has some incredible guests, including the short man over there on her Men's Perspectives series. She has a really interesting gentleman, Hard Body Bull, I believe, currently on her current episode that's airing right now. So please make sure you go check that out. Subscribe. She's got dope merch, as you can see in the background. I see a dope hat back there, all types of goodies. So get some merch, support a sister. She's super dope. So thank you again for joining us.
You're welcome.
It's Mental Health Month, and we want to help you, or we want you to help us talk a little bit about it.
Because let's have. So we're gonna have that. Basically, we're gonna have that uncomfortable conversation right now.
We're gonna have that uncomfortable conversation. So first, by a show of hands, has anyone in this room experienced any type of mental health, be it a panic attack, anxiety attack, anything like that? Absolutely. So right there, that's 4 for 4. That's 100%. You're not going to get that ratio anywhere, but you have it right here. So that just shows you about being a Black in America, that this mental health thing is a real thing. And I don't think any of us would be considered someone that would be just looked at from the naked eye and assume have any mental health. We got 4 people that I know for a fact have dynamic, happy-go-lucky personalities, but the reality is that mental health affects us all. So let's start with Gerald, man. If you want to share any type of mental health scares or experiences that you had that maybe the people would want to look in and maybe kind of realize, hey, it's okay to take time out, shut everything down, take care of you, and make sure you focus on your mental health. As my mom always says, you can't pour from an empty cup. Tell us a little bit about any of your experiences.
Wait, before Gerald goes, I'm sorry. I was going to say before, I'm so sorry, but before Gerald goes, I just wanted to just say, like, kudos to all of us for just being honest right now, because that's the whole point of May being Mental Health Awareness Month, is breaking that stigma. So for the fact that we can just all just like raise our hands publicly and just admit that, yes, we've all been in compromising positions is already like a step forward. So I just want to just make that point. And that's the whole purpose of May being mental health and breaking the stigma. But go ahead. Sorry.
No. That's actually fine, because it leads to what I was going to start with. As an individual who has experienced homelessness, I I've learned in the field that I work in now that a lot of people that experience homelessness have some form of mental health. It's kind of hard to try to survive on the streets without going through it. And I think, just because of my circumstances, I experienced homelessness. But now I'm working in the field, I realized that it was one of those things that I didn't even realize was happening with me, because growing up in the South, there is no outlet for homelessness. You have to be strong enough for whatever's going on to push through. Um, if you're a grown black man and you show emotion, or life gets hard and you want to cry, you break down about it. Oh, you're not being strong enough. You got to push through it. It's okay to not be okay. And so, once I was experiencing it, I had to be tough because I also had a family to take care of. So for me, it was like pushing things that were wrong with me to the side in order to give them a better life. And now that I've done that and excelled in that, I've taken time to look back and realize that what I've gone through are things that were not okay, and it's actually been okay to sit down and talk about it. You know, in my 38 years on this earth, I had never had a panic attack until I first had one last year. I thought I was dying because, I'm pretty, but I'm fat. So for me, it was like, oh, okay, I just need to get in better health because, as a diabetic, I've lost over 100 pounds, and yet I still have a journey to go. But I didn't realize that, panic attacks are mental, and now, that I sat down and talked to somebody about it, better ways to deal with my anxiety, I just was like, okay, I got to be strong, do this. And I'm okay with saying when I'm not okay. Like he'll tell you when I'm not okay, I'm brave enough to say it and will back away because I understand, as hard as I work and as much as I push, um, my body warning me of things is another reason for me to be here another 30, 40 years. That's what I want. So, it's cool because, I live in a place now where everybody goes to therapy or take meds. It's no longer taboo to not be okay. That's just me in a nutshell.
Absolutely. Short man, do you have any stories or any tales that you'd like to share about any mental health experiences, not experiments, that you may have, or
I'll,
experiments, I don't know, maybe you made something
I'll
up.
tell y'all right now, like I just went through one less than 24 hours ago. I still don't know what was going on with me. I'm really the old school thing of I come from that cloth of you just suck it up and supposed to just move on. And I'm still trying to get out of that character, but it's so hard because that's what's been embedded in me for my whole life. So I don't know what happened to me late evening last night. Uh, like people that know me, like y'all know, I've been going through a lot of stuff in my personal life, and I've been stressed out. I usually just keep on pushing, and I just take on more. But yesterday, like it took its toll on me to where I never get headaches, and from the end of my eyes to my neck hurt so bad last night to where my legs had stopped. And all I could do was lay on my floor last night. My chest was hurting so bad to where I didn't get up until this morning. You know what I mean? In a sweat. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what happened. I don't know why, but I know he's dealing with certain type of stress, maybe some anxiety. But like that was like the biggest health scare of my life. You know what I mean? But I'm so still wrapped up into my own thing to where I'm not going to no doctor. You know what I mean? Because I just know how to suck it up. Now I've told y'all, because we have a group chat or whatever like that, and y'all know, y'all will say, "Oh, you need to go check on this and check on that," and I get it and I understand. But I'm still stuck in that way of, you just got to push through it. You know what I mean? But I'm still trying to figure it out.
Absolutely. And I think that's a perfect dichotomy. We got two men that work in the same field, similar age, similar backgrounds, similar stories, but the way they're handling their mental health is two different panels. Nikki, what would be your recommendation for someone that's in short man's crew, especially I feel for men of African descent? It's very much taught and ingrained to suck it up, be
Yeah.
a man, tough it out. Don't be a punk. Don't Don't do this. Don't do that. What would you say for someone like Short Man or the Short Man himself, for someone who's experiencing that but still has that hesitation to go out there and pause and take some time to kind of
Yeah, breathe. For one, I want to say my heart goes out to you. Like honestly, because that's always scary to have something physically occurring with you and you not being able to point out why. That is like the scariest part. Like I was thinking about like what did I want to tell the audience or what do I want to tell the people, you know? And as far as mental health, and I'm glad that we're bringing this up, it's like kind of like that stub toe, right? You stub your toe, you acknowledge that you stubbed it. It's that initial pain of ouch, right? Then you take a moment, you pause, and you actually rub the toe. So right now, what happened with Shoreman is like he stubbed his toe. I mean, unfortunately, he doesn't know where the stubbing or how that occurred. But in someone like him in his position, I will first say you did the right thing by speaking to your support group, which I consider your brothers to be your support group. So you already did the first thing is like you already contacted someone, right? To kind of like hold you accountable or just to kind of, not, I want to say hold you accountable, but just to kind of keep their eyes and their ears on you. Like, okay, in terms of your health, like checking in on you every day. You guys check on each other all the time. Anyway, it's a beautiful relationship. I have the experience, the privilege to be able to witness it. So that's the first thing that you've already done right. You're talking about it. You're saying, I don't know why, but in your discussions, I'm sure the reasons behind it may be also there where you can probably take a moment to kind of like sift through where this kind of, where this potentially, where the root is. Right. So if you're part of the suck it up, well, if you're going to suck it up, well, then suck it up and take a moment to be mindful. Like really take steps back. Like don't just suck it up and ignore it. Because if you don't rub that stubbed toe, what's going to happen? It's going to turn black and blue or something else, right? God forbid, clots or whatnot. I'm not a medical provider in terms of like the anatomy, but I'm just trying to give examples so that you can actually see how important it is for you to pay attention to that that initial ache. Your body said ouch. You don't know where. So now it's time to take a moment while you're sucking it up, so to speak. Suck it up, but breathe while you're sucking it up. Take a moment to pause, yes. Take a moment to breathe. Pay attention to what your body is trying to tell you. Your body is probably telling you a lot of things. Your body's probably telling you, man, drink some more water. Your body's probably telling you, man, whatever it is that's going on, it could wait. Your body is probably trying to give you so much information at once that you need to just take a moment and just figure out and just listen to your body and hear what it's telling you to do. Don't block it out. Oh man, I'm gonna do this later. No, now. Like our health is literally our wealth. I can't speak from experience because I've suffered a panic attack. It's one of the scariest things ever. And it comes in and it can affect every person in different ways. That's the crazy part about stress. See, stress releases what they call cortisol in our bloodstream, right? So our body is constantly on edge when that stress, when we're under stress, cortisol is initially released. So your body is like, all right, when we go on, like, for lack of better terms, when are we going to fight? When are we going to fight? What are we about to get into? But if you're not getting into anything, your body's still constantly ready to get into something. At some point, your body's going to be tired of waiting to fight and actually do something. And unfortunately, you may be in different circumstances or just sitting down and your body's like, we're about to do something now. And then you're like, wait, what's going on? What's happening? It's just so much. Our body is so complex. I can't begin to break each and every point down, but all I can say is while you're sitting it out, sit it out and start taking journaling. What did I eat? How much water did I drink? Did I exercise today? I just got back into exercising, but that really does help because we're sitting down, we're eating all these foods. Shout out to Chicken C. We're eating all these good food. And we're not, I'm sitting here and I'm gaining all kind of happy weight, but that's neither here nor there. So while you're sitting it down, get a journal, start writing things out. Rappers have journals all the time. Use your notepad, use the apps on your phone, start writing things out. Just write it out and take a moment to go back while you're sitting and chilling, and go and see what is it. Have I done my physical? Have I had my, little minor things? And I know we don't really care for we're not all in favor of the healthcare systems. I get it, but that's another conversation for another time. But when your body is giving you serious alerts, we have to pay attention to it. So while you're sitting back and sucking it up, please be mindful and start writing down your daily activities and start journaling these things so you can pinpoint the root. I hope I wasn't too long-winded with that.
No, you good. You good. I appreciate
All
it.
right.
That's a beautiful answer. One of my biggest icons, I'm a super fan. Everyone knows I'm a Lakers, but I was a huge fan of Kobe Bryant. One of my heroes. That Mamba mentality is something that I just admire, and I think it's super dope mantra that anyone can adopt. And one thing that Kobe said is making a contract with yourself. And making that contract with yourself, once you make the contract, you're going to do it. Because if you can't even hold yourself up to certain codes and ethics that you set for yourself, where are you as a human being? So I think writing it down and what's going on can be very helpful, and making sure you write it down. Say, I am going to drink a gallon of water a day. I'm going to take 35 minutes to 45 minutes to exercise and move this gift that we've been given to make sure I'm in the best health. All of those negligent things that we do to ourselves can really be a form of depression that we don't even know. And I know for me firsthand, we all talk about our experiences. I went through a very private and painful divorce, and lost some family members and my dog, which I know people say a dog, but to me that was my child, all in a very short period of time. And I felt myself in a very dark place. So I had to take the time and talk to a therapist. It was during the pandemic, so you couldn't really see anyone, but just expressing online and really getting to the root cause of why certain behaviors I cause certain trauma and stripes in my life, and also certain behaviors that I allow that normally as a person that's really low tolerance, I find that if it's a person I care about, I would kind of let them just get away with murder. So sitting there and taking the time and learning yourself is something that I would recommend for anyone, because we're really not given all the tools that we need in school and family and anything. We carry those generational curses because they weren't there to teach them better ways to handle things. We're taught to run away from the problem, or drink away the problem, or eat away the problem, or smoke away the problem, or ignore the problem, instead of sitting there and saying, this is a problem. I recognize it's a problem. Do I want to continue, make the choice to actively have this problem happen? Or do I want to make those active decisions to eradicate, fix this problem, or improve my life? So I think that's something we all can take time and just really say, do I have anything to pour? Is my mug full, or is it empty? And if it's empty, then how can you give to anyone else? You can't quench anyone else's thirst with an empty mug. So just something, a tool that I think we can all use and help us in these scenarios that we all go through every single day, and know that it is a norm. It's not something that's necessarily easy fix, if it even is a fix, but you can improve. And if you improve 1% every day, at the end of the year, that's 365% better than you were at the point of a start. So I don't think that math adds up, but that's something. Not a math magician. So we have a couple of questions before we end this episode, since it is Mental Health Month, brought to you by the good folks over at Poddex. Discount still available with discount code the D.E.N, THEDEN. Get yourself 10% off. But they have a mental health segment, and I'm going to have some questions that I'm going to go around the room that we're all going to answer. So we're going to start with you, Gerald. If you were walking down the street and you came across someone going through a mental health episode, what would you do to help? And I think that's a perfect question for someone in your position.
Let's see, yeah, so because in my job field, that is almost every day. The first thing I would do is assess the situation before I engage, because the last thing you want to do is make someone uncomfortable when they're trying to deal with their mental health. A lot of people deal with their mental health in different ways. And once I see, engage and make sure they're not a harm to themselves or others, I would approach and ask if there was anything that I could do for them, try to get to know them, understand where they are. Because a lot of people, when it comes to their mental health, are very private with it. They try to deal with it without other people getting involved. So I would first see if my involvement is necessary or needed. And then, depending on the answer, we'll respond in kind as to, well, I'm here if you need anything, anyone to talk to, or if they're willing to get the help, try to see what it is that they're going through, try to get to know them, give them the resources that are necessary in order to get them the help, if there's any help to be given. A lot of times, people in mental health, there's a stigma around having mental health where you don't want to speak to someone, or a fear of what they would say to you or understand. But if you can get them to open up, then taking their vulnerability as a sign that they really want you to help and engaging with them that way. I hope I answered the question. I just be professional when it comes to stuff like that.
No, that's a freaking beautiful answer,
Oh,
brother.
wow.
It is exactly why I love this panel that we have, because everybody has such great experience in this particular field during this particular time of the year. So, Nikki, I have a question for you. What experiences in your life, your work, or your family inform your thinking about mental health? And this is really important because, as you mentioned, you are first generation, so you may have a different experience than the rest of us. But what experiences in your life, your work, or your family inform your thinking about mental health?
Well, inform my thinking. I would say everything is based on, in terms of my background. I'm going to go personal because it's always easier to relate. So personal, being a first generation immigrant, as you mentioned, everything is about appearance, right? What does it look like? So that's the first thing. That's why are you mad? Are you mad? Because everyone is always questioning, like, do I look crazy? Am I crazy? Like, so my first, I hope I'm answering your question. My first, the question is, what do you inform?
What informs you? So, in other words, what about your life experiences
Oh,
actually point to the reason your view on
yes,
mental
very
health
well.
is?
That's what I thought. Okay, I just wanted to be sure I was going in the right direction. And that's exactly it. Perception, right? We were colonized by the British, right? The Ghanaians are from Ghana. So everything is proper like, right? You hold your tea this way, move with grace. You even hear me sometimes saying it to the little one. So these images, right? These societal norms that have been already placed on us growing up, and we don't know why, has always been this center that is over. That's what it has informed me on mental health, because I've always wanted to know the why. Like, I don't mind presenting myself in this manner, but why do I need to present myself in this manner? So images, okay, so how we view ourselves in addition to the why are the two factors that I always kind of that always inform their mental. It's always about perception. So what people put on, the faces, the mask that they put on, why they put it on. But I feel like I'm going a little too deep, so I'm gonna answer.
No, that was an amazing answer. I've talked to you on one of your episodes that you and I did, and talked to me, and I don't even have my real voice. Like, you get so thrown into code switching that I don't even speak in my natural talking voice.
Which
That
is totally dope, by the way. Sorry.
thank you. Yes, it is. But
Yeah.
I don't even talk about to my natural talking voice because I don't want to make people uncomfortable. You're trained, you got a deep voice. You're a black guy. You're scary. You're a big black guy. So
Right?
I lighten up my voice like Michael Jackson to the point where I forget what my actual talking voice is.
Sure.
Probably, what would you say, 2 octaves deeper than the way I'm currently talking.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a lot more mellow. It's a lot lower. It's a lot lower than that, and it just shows your comfort. And I'm sure the listener that heard that episode could hear how relaxed you got once you were able to actually speak your natural voice, which is which is why that was such a great question for me, because it's that those perceptions, man, and how they've ingrained us. So it's all about decolonizing our mind. Okay.
All right. So, man, we're going to ask you this question right here. Are there any behaviors people can change or be mindful of to avoid causing further harm for someone struggling? So, if there's someone out there struggling, is there any behaviors or any type of, just something to be mindful? Because, a lot of times people are like, man, you crazy, you acting crazy, which, end up with a bishop moment where someone's like, you know what? I am crazy. So do you think there's any behaviors that people should, kind of be mindful of to avoid causing someone that is on that borderline from, don't push me, I'm close to the edge moment?
I believe you have to show more empathy. Um,
Mm.
and be more courteous to a person, because if you see them like kind of having a, maybe you call it an episode, if you're around them, just say, hey, are you okay, do you need anything? If you show that, that could trigger something to bring them back a little bit, and that shows that it's basically non-threatening. You know what I mean? In the environment that I work in at Gerald works, and also I see that on a day-to-day basis of people that are struggling with mental health and drug addiction. So when they're having these episodes, instead of me like getting upset or something, I go up to them, hey, you need anything? How are you doing? Like, you kind of stand at arm's distance, but then you say, hey, do you need anything? I'm here to help you. You show that you're helpful, and they'll kind of bring it back in a little bit, and they might feel comfortable with engaging with you and say, hey, I need this, I need that. Some people be like, oh no, just leave me alone. But you say, hey, I'll sit here with you. Do you need water? You need air or anything like that? You have to show compassion instead of just going on a rampage of, oh, you're tripping out and you crazy. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Show compassion and empathy.
Mm. That might be if we were Pee Wee's Playhouse, that would be the magic word. I think it's something that is sorely missing currently in society, where it's all about getting likes and false clicks and subscribes and these false sense of people actually liking you versus actually having empathy for another human being and putting yourself in the shoes. And I always tell people there's a big difference between empathy and sympathy. Empathy is putting yourself in their shoes, or sympathy is, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you. We don't need your sympathy. We need more and more empathy. So I think that's, I couldn't have said it better. So one final question for all of us. What is the most important thing you've learned about your mental health this year? And we'll start with Nikki.
Great question. One thing I've learned about my mental health this year is to be patient with myself. Be patient with myself, because I was diagnosed with severe anxiety, so I have to always chill. So always take a moment, pause, breathe, and be patient.
I think we have to be patient with your connection right now, but but we did get the.
You got the audio? It's not the audio, man.
Yeah,
I'm an audio girl.
Yeah, we got the sound bite. You sound great.
Listen.
You're a little. You're giving me that digital get down.
So you know what?
And
on that note, I'm going to close out on my camera, but I'm still going to be here auditorily. Is that okay? Because I don't want to be glitching.
Absolutely. We're about to close out. Thank you so much for coming. Before you disappear, let the people know once again where they can find Are You Mad?
Well, you guys can find Are You Mad? Okay, if you can still hear me. You guys can find Are You Mad on all your podcast platforms, well, on most podcast listening platforms, and also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where they're more visual, not like this visual that you're having right now, but more actual visual content of myself, and that's at Are You Mad? ARGH, the letter U, and MAD, and you can just visit the website.com as well. And you can search it everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Please check that out. Short man, answer the question. What is the most important thing you learned about your mental health this year?
Honestly, I'm going to be totally truthful. I haven't learned it yet. I'm still working on it, man. Like, I'm going to be totally honest with y'all. I'm still trying to develop of who I am and what I'm struggling with. So I really don't know yet. I know I'm struggling with quite a few things. I just haven't pinpointed it yet.
Yeah, that's an honest answer, and I respect that 100%. Big Gerald, how about you, brother? What is the most important thing you've learned about your mental health this year, 2023? We're almost halfway through it. We're in May.
For me, uh, even though I'm going through something that a lot of people are going through, it's totally different from everybody else's. When you're dealing with mental health, even if it's diagnosed the same as someone else's, your journey is your own. Uh, it takes a village in order to care for a child, as they always told us, but it only takes a little bit of time to take care of you. Learning to be okay with my mental health and the fact that I'm walking this road and know that I can lean on others is great. But if someone's handling what I'm going through differently, not to take it personal with myself. If me and the short man came with the same way, my way of handling it may be different from his. And if his is better, learning to be okay with the way I'm handling it until I'm not. When it comes down to myself, just being okay with me, being okay with the steps, being okay with reaching out, being okay with not being okay is what I've learned.
That's a beautiful answer, and I'll wrap this up with me. I think the biggest thing I've learned with my mental health this year is the ability and the power of saying no. As a person that is naturally, I would say, generous and as a giver, it's very easy for people to look at you as a lick or look at you as an opportunity. And as a person that wants everyone to succeed and everyone to just be their best selves, sometimes people can take advantage of that. So sometimes putting the foot down and saying, hey, just because you have a generous spirit doesn't mean you can be taken advantage of. So you say no, you put your foot down, and you make sure that you're healed and in a predicament. So I think that's something we can all add into our agenda is the power of no. I always say it's the most powerful time in the world. Sometimes it's just no, not right now, but you have to be able to say no to make sure that you are in a position where you can say yes for many, many, many moons to come. So I think this was a deep episode, y'all. I think this was good, man. I think what did we win, a Webby? I guess you win a Webby online. I don't know what the hell. I know there's Emmys, Grammys, Tonys. She's back. Uh, but guys, we just want to go around the room and say our kudos before we close out this episode. Big Gerald, want to start with you. Any shout outs? Anything you want to promote? Floor is yours.
Right. Shout out to the Down in the Den After Dark crew, my brothers. Appreciate y'all coming to my life. Shout out to the Queen. I need to subscribe because you gave great insight, and I'm always a student of learning, especially in the field that I'm in. With my growth and potentially promoting into a new job. It is something that I'm willing to learn. Like I said, I walked into this field accident, but I'm blessed to be in it. Shout out to Christian Mingle, everybody over there for supporting you, boy. We on the way up, as we always say. My Facebook family, of course, y'all can find me on there. I'm learning this Instagram game, but again, I'm almost 40, so I don't care about none of that. And yeah, that's about it.
Absolutely. Short man, you want to give any shout outs, anything you want to promote? Floor is yours, brother.
Oh man, shout out to the D.E.N crew. Shout out to RU Mad Miss Nikki Nu. Appreciate her. Plus, she came around. You're welcome, Mars.
That's the story he's sticking to me.
Hey, yeah. But I want everybody to continue to check out each and every episode of All Punishment. Please check out every episode of Down in the Den and Down in the Den After Dark. Go back and subscribe and check out all the Are You Mad podcasts and keep liking and subscribing with Politicking as Usual. The takeover. You know what I mean? It's our time. So you can get with it or get moved over. But find me on Instagram, Shortman8300. I got a TikTok, Shortman8300, which I don't know how to use. Like I said, it's love.
I am real pretty. Did you?
Like, I look phenomenal in this blue sky.
With this lighting. Oh, you guys got lighting. Wait, I see that so clearly. I'm sorry. I just realized that. Forgive me.
The beach agrees with me.
Yes, it does. Yes, the clear blue skies too.
I'm over here like a damn
With the palm
hologram.
trees.
You look like my man from Quantum Leap.
Oh yeah,
You're showing your age.
Quantum Leap.
I really did.
Yeah.
Sam, and Nikki, any shout outs or any floor is yours, anything you want to give before we end the episode?
Sure. Once again, please sure to check out Are You Mad on all your podcast platforms. Shout out to the Mad Hatters. That's the Are You Mad followers. And you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch. Just search Are You Mad. Spelling is ARGH, the letter U, MAD, and just go to the website.com.
Absolutely. And of course, yours truly, Mars, aka Marlon Beardo, the Bearded Weirdo, and all those other AKAs that you love. Please check us out every Monday, Politicking as Usual, your weekly morning show. Once a week, a little bit late, because what's the best nation in the world? Procrastination. Absolutely. Also, check out Down in the Den After Dark. We have a brand new episode, bonus episode right now. And next week, two episodes. That's how much we love you guys. To make up for when we're on vacation, we're going to be recapping what happened in Tampa. You will not want to miss these stories. Some stories of misery, some stories of glory, but you're going to want to not miss a single one of those. Also, want you to check out Down in the Den. We're back, the Mother Show, season 4. Oh my God, 4 seasons. The first episode, we're going to be talking about AI in music and how it's taken over. So you're going to want to tune in. That's going to be this upcoming Wednesday. Please tune in. And of course, all the other shows, the Cooking with Mars segment, the Off Punishment, Cal's Court, Pot with Petty, Real Q Talk, Quan's Kitchen. It's more. It's plenty of stuff coming. So got Unnamed Comic Book Podcast coming back. We've already filmed 3 episodes for season 2. So that's coming back very soon with my guy, Johnny Rapp. So we have a ton of content. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Turn those notifications on because there's going to be pretty much some dope content every single day of the week. We're going to be giving you something, be it Off Punishment, Down in the Den, After Dark, Kyle's Court, clips from Are You Mad, whatever. There's going to be something. So please tune in the channel. Join this takeover. Get on this train now before those tickets are sold out, because once we take off, it's going to be hard to get a ticket. So please, thank you so much. Good morning to you. Politicking as usual.
Yes.
There's nothing in the cup. All right.